In the last 12 months, Myanmar has awarded a number of offshore and onshore blocks. Hi, I'm Joanne Liu reporting from the 2014 Asia Pacific Drilling Technology Conference in Bangkok. Joining me is Steve McBride, the General Manager of Thailand and Myanmar for Weatherford. Steve, thanks so much for joining me.
No problem.
So Steve, tell us a little bit more about the Myanmar market. What's going on there and what is industry doing to help extract the resources there?
Okay. Well, Myanmar, for a number of years, there has been a very limited number of operators involved because of the sanctions on the country. And as most people know, those were lifted last year. And in the last 9 months, Q4 last year, there were 16 land blocks awarded. And in Q1 this year, there were 20 offshore blocks, 10 shallow water and 10 deep water blocks awarded. So that, in some ways, has stimulated a bit of a gold rush. So on top of the existing operators that have been there for 10, 15 years, likes of Total and PTT and Petronas, we're now getting a lot of the majors involved. Myanmar is probably one of the last frontier areas in the world with reasonably accessible conventional oil and gas, assuming discoveries are made, of course. There's a lot of inaccessible areas in the world, but Myanmar is, to be honest, reasonably accessible. The challenges, of course, offshore, there's quite a steep drop-off to the deep water. There are different climatic mid-ocean conditions there, which the operators are going to have to deal with in the deep water blocks. And onshore, the country is extremely varied in the environment. As you go towards Assam in India in the north, it is a very dense jungle, mountainous jungle rainforest. There are monsoon seasons as well, of course, two different monsoon seasons, and that presents challenges both offshore and onshore. But there's also the infrastructure of the country. Some of the equipment's available, like basic cranes. There are not a lot of these, so operators are faced with the challenge of getting the right rigs in and being able to move those rigs over the existing infrastructure, like the culverts and the bridges. How strong are they? What damage are we going to do? So those are additional challenges that perhaps don't exist in a lot of the Western countries.
Okay. And moving on into Thailand, what kind of trends or challenges is industry seeing there?
Okay, well, Chevron and formerly Unocal, they have always drilled extremely quick wells, and they continue to get faster. But, 2014, Chevron launched their year of efficiency. So they're intending to drill 425 wells, I believe, this year. They're already ahead of that target. Next year, it will be close to 500 wells. That's just for Chevron alone. So there is a big drive for efficiency, and there is a very intense focus on making sure that nobody does anything wrong. Of course, we all strive for operational excellence, underpinned by sound HSE practices. But there's additional pressure right now in everyone to drill these wells so much faster in order to meet their demands to supply gas to the Kingdom of Thailand. At the same time, as you move from the relatively benign northern Gulf of Thailand towards the south, towards the Malaysian border, the temperatures get hotter and hotter. So, for example, the Bongkot field, which PTT are drilling, I think they're currently some of the bottom hole temperatures in the region of 220 to 230 degrees Celsius, which is already deemed to be extremely hot. But next year, I think they're talking about going even deeper on temperatures up to 260 degrees Celsius. So that presents some challenges, for example, in measurement, data acquisition, whether it's LWD or conventional wireline. And that is really going to set the scene for the wells ahead. High temp wells and extremely fast wells, and then as the cycle completes and a lot of the wells, drop in production, begin to tail off, you're then going into a large cycle with a number of wells involved. For example, with Chevron, you're going into a cycle of well abandonment, and that will again present a whole further set of challenges, different rig types, well intervention units, etc. which are going to be required to actually go through the well abandonment phase.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for giving us insight into Myanmar and Thailand.
Okay, thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.